like, for example, maybe all the dumb things that you've done in the past, or that pile of e-tail bills which just keeps on growing. Or maybe like me, you need to forget to go to work every now and then. But some people just never forget. Recently, I was in Scotland in a place called the Grumpy Goat. And we'd been drinking quite a bit, and we were dancing on the tables, and the Polish barman got upset with us, so we had to stop. And instead, we decided to hold a caber tossing contest. Now, caber tossing is a traditional Scottish event, but you know, it's sad how the details of these traditions get lost in the sands of time, because none of us actually knew what a caber was. So instead, we decided to use a pole, and the only pole we could find was the barman. Now, I am a toastmaster, through and through, and my role for that evening was the toast. And the toast happened to be to the person who had tossed the barman the furthest. So I did everything right, and I raised my glass, and then I realized I didn't actually know his name. So I said to him, "What's your name?" So he said, "Angus MacDonald," and we all drank. So then Angus decides to do a toast too. So he raises his glass, we all raise our glasses, and he says, "To the wee lad from South Africa, what's your name?" And I say, "Ian Campbell," and I drink heartily. It took me a few moments to notice that no one else drank this toast. In fact, a deathly silence had fallen upon the Grumpy Goat, with the emphasis on deathly. Then Angus says, "Did you say Campbell?" And I kind of squeaked, "Maybe." And then he says, "Clansman, finally, there's a Campbell in our midst. We can seek retribution for the greatest wrong ever done in the history of Scotland." Okay, maybe at this point I'll give you a little background on this. It turns out that on the ground behind the Grumpy Goat is a pile of rocks with a clock stuck to it. And if I'd bothered, I would have read the in memorial to the massacre of Glencoe, 1750. Turns out, as my luck would have it, that the massacres were the Campbells and the massacres were the McDonalds. But it gets worse. The victims were all women and children who were sleeping at the time. But you've got to look at this thing in context, okay? These were Highlanders, and even a sleeping MacDonald child was a formidable foe. You need to be careful. So what was probably really equally matched battle, which the Campbells won fair and square, is now termed by the MacDonalds a massacre. Typical losers. I'm surprised they didn't call it the Holocaust. Anyway, so there I was in the Grumpy Goat facing up against these 10 large battle-scarred MacDonalds. And I decided to apply my Toastmaster skills. I realized, yeah, my objective was to motivate and persuade. So I decided to appeal to their higher feelings. So I said to Angus, "Come now, Angus, it was only 38 of you that we killed. Big deal." And those women weren't the prettiest specimens anyway. Please do me a favour. For some reason, the MacDonald clan got more angry. So much for Toastmaster skills. But in retrospect, if I think back, I believe some of those MacDonalds standing there might have actually been women. It's difficult to tell them. But then, you know, it was looking bad for me at that point. But then instinct took over. It seems as though thousands of years of battle between the Campbells and the MacDonalds have genetically conditioned me for exactly this kind of situation. And I knew what to do. So I said to Angus, okay, let's do this. According to Scottish tradition, I get to choose the weapons. Now, it seems the sands of time and high blood alcohol content had obscured Angus's judgment because he agreed. So I reached into my pocket for my weapon and I drew it out. A piece of paper. So now there was some confusion among the McDonald's as none of them were properly equipped for this battle. And they were all looking around for a piece of paper. I was going to finish this, and I struck. I handed the paper to Angus. So Angus looks there and he sees Ancestral Commission Scotland. This is to certify that Ian Campbell is a direct descendant of Archibald Campbell, the accountant to the Campbells in 1750, tasked with counting the MacDonald loot, in no way involved in killing anyone. Battle over. And you know, when I saw the disappointment on those McDonald's faces, I almost felt bad for inflicting another resounding Campbell victory. Or, as they will be calling it for the next 400 years, a massacre. Anyway, tonight I want to urge all of you in life, do not be a McDonald. Do not be a loser. Forget about the past. Knock down those silly memorials. And no matter how evil people have been to you, whatever you do, don't try to poison the world by starting a hamburger chain.